Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I want to tell you, brought to you by Dispose. This is a great garbage company that can do great things for you. If you give us an opportunity, I'm sure I will answer your call.
Okay.
So all the problems I might be having, I try to make sure all problems don't become yours. So when it comes to cleanups, give us an opportunity and a chance to see what we can do for you.
Yes.
Now that's what we can do at Dispose LLC. Now I got to get back to the people that's been rocking with me for 4 years, going on September the 17th. Craftmatic, how you doing, big baby?
I'm doing good, Smooth J. Doing good, man.
And you still chipping.
Yeah, man. I'm always chipping.
I mean, you just so happy.
Listen, when there's life,
I mean, it's a
man,
pandemic, bro. They tearing up in other places and everything on. You still stay happy.
Yeah. I'm just in the spirit, man. I know the Lord is doing some work over there.
Okay.
And we might not understand it, but I promise you, He is still in control.
Okay, well, I'm gonna rob some of your happiness. I just need this a little something.
Can't rob my happiness.
Yeah, I gotta rob first.
It's on the inside.
I've watched Facebook. They robbed everything else. I'm trying to get some of y'all too. Trying to get that happiness. Then I gotta get next to my man that's in the building, Big Buddha. How you doing tonight, man?
What up? Slow motion, Jay.
It's slow motion.
Yeah.
All right, got the sleeves on. Man, you know something would kill me? He coming out the pandemic workout one day. he did 4 push-ups and put on the other talking about, yeah, I'm getting it in.
Yeah.
You know, I know he's serious about it. I know he's serious about it. Huh?
Could I get at least 10? Only 4?
No, you only go 3 minutes. How you gonna get more than you already know you got a time limit to everything.
I'm trying to build up to 3 in 01.
You trying to go a little longer?
Yeah, just 1 second.
And you think 4 push-ups gonna get you there?
I said 10.
Oh, you working for 10.
Really?
Anyway.
Seriously.
It ain't looking good for you.
This is
Keep it up though. Keep it up.
Perfect opportunity to introduce our show. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth J.
Yes.
We got Phil in the house, and of course, we are here simply to liberate your mind with fantastic dialogue. We're going to start a dialogue on a subject tonight, and we ask that you would get in where you fit in. Really begin to understand what we're talking about. What decisions would you make out of that? How does it change your life? How does it change your state of mind based upon what we're talking about? We're always talking real world. We hope that this show is kind of therapeutic. It most certainly is for me. Because I've been able to vent and understand some things about my life and my past and myself as a result of being on this show. So we hope that it's valuable. We are truly grateful for you being here with us tonight. And, you know, we get a little edgy sometimes, so y'all just bear with us.
Just a little?
Just a little, yeah. I said that, and so let me go ahead and set the show up with a prayer. We always start the show off with a prayer. And I don't know, Jay, would you be interested in praying for us tonight?
Man, I'm gonna need you to pray over what all is happening right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are hurting from the pandemic to the slaughtering of us on film by the police. I think we just need some hands of healing.
Hands of healing. Let's go a little deeper than that. What kind of healing do we need, right? We need knowledge.
We need change.
Of victory. Right? You know, all the work that I do is about consciousness. And we need to elevate our consciousness to that of victory. And once we do that, it'll certainly fade our minds from any fears and any troubles that's going on. There are real troubles. I'm not displacing any of that. But for those of us who are necessarily in the trouble, we got to keep our minds and our spirits on victory and know that all of this stuff that's going on is not going to hold us back from what we want to accomplish in our lives. And so let's hand it over to the Father. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight with our heads bowed and our hearts humbled, just thanking you for another opportunity to do this great show. We ask, Heavenly Father, that you would give us the knowledge of victory, that you would allow us, Father, to experience victory in each walk of every day, in all of our situations and in all of our circumstances. That you would give us knowledge of victory over the coronavirus. That you would give us knowledge of victory over those in government and leadership who are coming against us. That you would give us knowledge of victory over our finances. That you would give us knowledge of victory over our heavy hearts and challenged minds. That you shall, Father, open a door of acceptance of a greater idea than we currently know. And we ask that you would do that with your power, with your majesty, and with your love, and we make ready to receive. We ask, Father, that you would be here with us tonight and move through this show putting your word and your message forth. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Ooh, amen.
Amen.
I hope that touch a lot of souls and a lot of people tonight. Some of the topics that we talked about, man.
You know, as I was praying, man, I was thinking to myself, what is the knowledge of victory? The knowledge of victory is that in my mind, I'm going to go where God is. Right? And where God is standing in the middle of anything, whatever he's standing in, knowing that it's already done. And that I will finish the race, and I will be victorious, and I will not be hurt by the enemy. I will not. You got to stand on the mountaintop in your spirit and in your mind before you can ever begin to manifest it in your life. And that's, you know, the strongest people that we know, the greatest people that we know, they have a really, really strong consciousness. They have a really strong attitude. They have a really powerful concept or philosophy of their life. And until we get that strength, we're not going to be able to achieve the greatness that we can. We got to have those spirits of victory because life is always about attacking. And when you attack anything, if you don't have the knowledge of victory, then you're already going in just about ready to be blindsided, right? So, because we got to have on the whole armor of God. So, I'll let that go, but it sure is nice talking with the Lord. You know what I mean?
We heard.
Yeah, it's whew, man, I just love him. I love him so much, Jay, you know. Listen, I don't even,
why you stay happy.
I don't even recall, what did we talk about last week? It's not even on the forefront of my mind. Where we at last week?
How willing are you to challenge your intimacy?
Oh my goodness. How willing are you to challenge your intimacy? How willing are you to challenge your intimacy? In fact, we call it the intimacy challenge.
That's right.
And what'd you get out of that show, Jay?
I got a lot. One of the things is everybody go for the physical. And I was trying to say if you can do some things without touching them.
Yes.
Especially with a person that you normally touching all the time. Take the time to get into her head to let her know that she's still special without giving it the physical. Yeah. But making her want the physical. Right. And I said it'll change the whole relationship when she see you care and just giving her a call while she at work and kind of boosting her up. I asked her what she wearing. I seen what you walked out with, you know, but when you come in tonight, I want you to change in and slip into something different. Giving her ideas of what you want and getting her mindset there without even touching her. Yes. And that right there changes a lot of things. And a lot of times we get so busy, we forget to do these small things. And these are some of the things we might encourage at the beginning and we kind of get away from. And I'm trying to encourage you to get it back because it's like a love language. Yes. But it's getting back to the one that you're already with and get a better communication solid before you start making the mistakes. And you got to repair. I don't think everything needs to be repaired if you understand what you have.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yeah, we talked a little bit about repairing. Especially me and Brother Phil.
No. You went in on Phil. I went back and listened. Phil went with something. You just got pissed off. You was like, wait a minute. You ain't going to 0-0 too late. I'm like, oh, that work.
I mean, that's the point. You know, if your intimacy has been challenged because you've been in an argument or disagreement, that you don't have to start at ground zero. You got to start with where you kind of left off. You know, if the issue came with you know, lying or, you know, cheating or what missing in action or whatever, then you got to make up that difference. You got to show her that you are willing to be vulnerable. You are willing to let her know where you are all the time if that's what she might need in order to build that trust. So, you know, you don't have to start at ground zero. You really got to dial in, and it forces you to dial in and figure out, hey, what happened here? What did I do? What did she do that broke the intimacy? And if you own up to it, you'll be back in the sack pretty quick, right? But if you don't own up to it, oftentimes I think what happens is, in especially long-term relationships, those little things get built up into little brick walls, and then next thing you know, you got a brick wall between you and your significant other, you know, because that place that was hurt was never really healed. It was never really talked about. And you really don't have a foundation if you try to move forward in a relationship and you haven't healed the hurts. There is nothing to stand on, you know. There's nothing to go off of at that point. You just kind of flailing in the wind, you know what I mean? You flailing off of what you like, and your heart might be in it, but your head is so far from reality sometimes that it's hard to move forward. So it was a great show. I loved the energy of the show, and the content was just fabulous. I'm encouraging you folks to go back and check it out. We are all over the internet, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, and you can certainly find us at bartalkwithjay.com.
Yes.
In fact, you can find all of the shows now at bartalkwithjay.com. Actually, it's been there for a while, but it's been reformatted, so it's much easier to use. So please check us out. We are everywhere that you might be, including some of the more
That's right. Offer up
risque
back planet, back page, POF.
I wonder if people ever go search for us on them spots.
Yes.
They do, huh?
Yeah. They be hitting my little profile.
They be hitting you up, huh?
Yeah. I'm not on it no more, so I really don't see all the things that they put on it no more.
Yeah, we're on so many platforms.
On this just understand, my brother. I am single, so yeah, I can be on them. I got reasons to be there. I promote there. I push there because one of the things is when single people got questions and they're looking for companionship, but they also looking for somebody to talk to. And I'm trying to be out there to be able to talk to people to get them into a better place. Again, I might not be the person that you really looking for and you really sexually need, but mentally I'm probably the person you need to talk to.
Okay.
And that's why I started this, where we can pour it out and find some better understanding for you can get back within you what you really need.
Yeah.
Not some of the stuff that's been robbing you.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Every time you talk about all of those social media platforms, I think to myself, if Jay had a straight lady, would he be able to still go in there and
hell no.
and do all those?
No. I'm gonna tell you right now, I have problems already, man. No.
Yeah. So
just this dating and you tell people you there what you there for.
You couldn't do it
because of my talk radio show. What I'm
business
doing.
purposes?
Man, they don't care. They know what's going on in that DM. If you just see what's in my DM, the average person gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
Because they sending stuff that ain't it ain't showmanship type stuff.
Yeah, it's still business.
Twerking to the foot. No, I ain't working. They working.
It ain't business.
Yeah.
No, it's
it's all too easy now, my friend.
Yeah.
It's all too easy.
It's a lot being offered.
Yeah.
And
Offer up.
What? I'm trying to tell you.
Wow.
That's why I'm celibate.
Yeah.
I'm starting to sell a little bit. It's a lot goes on.
Really? You
But, come on now.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, listen,
Okay.
we got our
Man,
guest.
what's the topic?
We have a guest on tonight who's going to just crush us at the 7:40 hour. That's the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey is going to be with us tonight, and super excited about that. I'm also about to give you tonight's topic, and then of course shortly after it'll be just about time for us to go to break, and we may even spend a few minutes here. I think we got about 3 minutes, B. Okay. Tonight's topic is harboring past relationships.
Ooh.
Don't let the old ruin your new.
Ooh.
I know y'all want me to go first on that one.
How many men do we know that are divided against themselves?
I mean, that goes a lot of different directions. That go either or. If you know, and one of the things I'm gonna bring up real quick before we go to break. If somebody you get with and they speak so negatively of the person they was with, I'm talking about they got nothing but harsh words on everything that they got to say.
Baggage.
They ain't got past whatever this went on.
Baggage.
Because I promise you, when you really get past it, I don't have to bring them up.
Baggage.
If I keep bringing them up, even when nobody else mention them, but I'm telling you things and I'm always saying things, then there's some things still going on. I ain't saying necessarily sexual, whatnot, but mentally you ain't got past some things, and these are the things that can cause a lot of problems because the person that you're trying to deal with is just trying to find out more about you, and all I'm finding out is more about what you was into.
And that's a turn off.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't fix you. You can only fix yourself. But I'm willing to be a sounding board. But I don't want to keep sounding off hearing about somebody else when I'm trying to work with us. That's a selfishness of me giving up my time and efforts, especially if I'm trying to date you. If I'm just trying to listen to you, that's what I would normally do, just listen. And again, I don't wear your pain. So when you come to me with it, I promise you, when I get off the phone with you, I'm not carrying it no further than when I was listening with you, because I'm giving it back to you for you can find out some things that you can do to enhance you.
Okay.
It's not for me to carry.
Yeah.
But what problem is, and I'm noticing, people tell people stuff and then they go to tell somebody else.
Mhm.
And to me, now you're carrying somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
So why are you telling somebody else's business so you can get an idea or a point of view? No, you're just being messy.
Yeah.
That person gave that to you. Give them back whatever feedback you got to do and let it go.
Yeah.
But when you start telling somebody else and telling, now their business is out and now they lose trust. Because I gave it to you, but I ain't give it to the world.
Right.
So if you don't want all your stuff out here, you might not want to be DMing me and telling me all your business. I might put your ass on the show. You know,
But-
okay?
Yeah.
Because y'all be telling me some juicy
Yeah,
stuff.
But the thing is,
What?
if you start in a relationship or trying to go into a relationship, and the only thing you talking about is your past, you ain't ready.
Okay.
I like that.
Potentially. Now you know.
There's no potential in it. You're not ready.
Yeah, potentially.
If
you know.
he's
But
like
you can
like
help
he
them get
stated,
ready. You know, if you
no,
if
no,
you-
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no,
Hey, listen,
no, no,
listen.
no. Because what he's saying is, you know, there's negative. Everything that she or either he says is negative about that other person. They're not ready to move on. They need to heal within themselves before they can move on. Because at that point, they're just a toxic vessel. Period.
Bitter.
Right.
So
Man, that's
Right.
you can't move on if you toxic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I completely agree with that. My mindset kind of works like this, Brother Phil, is that you're probably not going to meet nobody's healing. So whoever you meet, they're going to have some stuff and they're going to have some pains. And you know what? Early in the game, a very natural evolution of things is they're going to begin to share with you their pain. And their pain probably was that last guy. And what I do is I don't judge at first.
Yeah, you can share
At
your
first, I
pain.
don't judge.
You can share your pain, but you have to understand that that's your pain. I can't help you get over your pain.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just saying like.
No, we're not saying that you are. We're just saying that it's naturally going to come up. It's naturally going to come up.
I'm not saying
And
that it's not going to
how
come
you
up.
look
but
at
that's-
it is
that's just
gonna-
like saying that you're responsible for my happiness, which you're not. You're responsible for your own happiness.
Right,
okay.
I'm responsible for mine.
right,
I add to yours, you add to mine.
right.
But if you're solely looking at me for your happiness, you're going to fall short every time.
Yeah, because you already know you're only going to get 3 minutes.
I think you changed the subject right in the middle of the damn line, man.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're talking about two or three
that's a
different
part-
things, man.
No, that's a part
That's
of
why I went back
baggage.
2 or 3 different minutes.
No, that's a
all
part
I
of
could get.
baggage because if you carrying baggage, you can't get the happiness.
Yeah, that is
You know,
true.
Phil
But
can't carry that long.
everybody's carrying baggage in hopes of trying to get the happiness. And until we figure out how to heal, you're
It's
not
how
going to
you
meet somebody.
carry your baggage.
You're not going to meet somebody who doesn't have it. Yeah, now how they carry it very well changes the game because everybody's got them. You know, I have a
Yeah.
tendency not to talk about mine at all. Like I don't want to bring it up. I don't even want you don't even know my ex-girlfriend's name. And you know, I don't. That's how much I want to keep it out of the
I mean,
equation.
some
you
people
know what I'm
got
saying?
suitcases, some people got cargo planes.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think we got a lot more to talk about on this subject
Oh, we do.
because there's so many ways we can dissect this. So again, tonight, folks, we're talking about harboring past relationships. Don't let the old ruin your new.
No.
I got some great cuts coming
I
along
wouldn't
right
say
here.
ruin, I say F up.
Yeah, I got some great cuts for you, and I want you folks to stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jake.
Welcome back to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Y'all starting to do some interesting things that segment. I thought y'all was going to go all the way in full mellow jelly.
Yeah, I thought we was too. I like
No.
the way the conversation was going.
Well,
You
you
know?
might want to pick it back up.
I don't even know where we were.
Yeah,
It's
I
okay,
want you to think about that while I introduce the topic for tonight.
Go for it.
Folks, tonight we're talking about harboring past relationships. Don't let your old ruin your new. And so we're talking about moving into potentially a new relationship and holding on to some baggage. And very interestingly, the conversation was about as soon as you meet new people and they're talking about the pain of their past relationships, that we automatically can suggest that they're not ready. And I had the notion to say that probably not anybody's ready. If they hadn't been out of the relationship for at least a year,
It depends.
maybe 6 months. Depends on how long they was in a
Right.
relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's set some criteria for that. So
Okay.
if they were in a relationship for 3 months,
That's not a relationship.
okay, for 6
can't
months,
be.
That,
6 months, 6
That can't
months.
be.
that's a sexualship.
So,
But that's not a relationship.
I might miss it.
Really?
For about a week or two.
Really, 6
For
months.
every 3 months, you get a week. If it was good, you get a week. A week to open.
Every 3 months you get a week.
Every 3 months you get a
So
week.
let me see. So
sorry.
that means out of a year, you do
3
a month.
months, 6 months,
They
8
don't
months.
last that long, so you
I like that. So every year,
It's not even relationship status. For me, that, I
You only
mean,
last 3 minutes. You ain't no status. What you talking about?
okay, you got a point.
I like that, Jay. Every 3 months you get a week.
Yeah,
So a year would require 4 weeks. That's a month, right?
that's right. That's a lot of
You
time.
need a month off, but a month ain't quite enough, Jay. And you
I
know
mean, it
for
might
No,
not.
no, a year.
a year
You was
relationship,
in a relationship for a year.
you need longer than a month to
You
hold
need
on.
longer than a month.
I mean, hold on. You gotta understand.
really probably need
within
6
that
months.
month. And remember, you look at the relationship. If it's not a monogamous relationship, and it's just dating type situation, you don't need a whole lot of time because it's not. It shouldn't be that much vested because again, you didn't make a lot of plans in that.
Well,
So again, it depends on where you at.
It depends on the type of relationship.
Exactly.
And
if
depends
you-
on
we
individual
going with
as well.
a mild relationship where we talking about dating. We ain't going all the way.
Mhm.
Because the more things you put into it, the more time you got to add to it.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a small base.
Okay.
Let's go with a base of just dating. No real plans on being together long term or anything, but it lasted a lot longer because you got along.
So you're dating for a year.
You're just dating.
So,
I like that, Jay. I
Yeah,
like that a lot.
I mean, maybe my definition of dating is totally different from yours.
I probably believe so.
But if you dating, that means that you seeing other people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
That's why I say-
no,
that's why-
no.
As long as we on the same page, I just want to
No,
make
no,
sure
it's
we
not.
on the
See,
same
that's
page.
That's why it don't take. That's why it don't take a long time.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
That's how shit get messed up.
I'm with you on that one.
You don't give a shit, but that's how stuff get messed up. That's how I get messed up. You do. She
No.
think listen, if you tell a female that y'all are dating,
Right.
she believe that, hey, no, we ain't dating around, we dating each other. And if we dating each other, then you my man, I'm your lady, and that's how it go down. But
That's
you're
where
saying,
communication come in.
nah, nigga, that's what you need.
I need to know what your definition of dating is.
Okay, I think everybody
Because
needs
my
to have that
definition of dating is if we're dating other people.
Yeah.
We're just not
Monogamous.
we're not monogamous. We're dating.
Okay.
That means
Okay.
your option open, my option
Okay,
open.
well listen, let's stay on track.
Let's get
now.
back.
So
So now we got that base. And that base is a mild base of
Yeah.
just dating, not a monogamous relationship. So you got 1 week for every 3 months.
okay, I like that. I like
Sure.
that. But here and here's where I really love to chime in on this stuff. That for anybody who's listening to this, you should develop an internal mental tool belt, right? And one of those tools in your belt is that anytime you're in a relationship for 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever it is, and you break up, make sure that you set a time limit for your healing process, right? That's very simple, right?
Yeah.
But it'll change the mindset. It'll say, hey, there's no pressure on me for another 6 months or for another 3 months or for another year. I don't even want to date. I don't want to talk on the phone. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to chill for a couple of months and get my head together. That is where healing can take place between relationships.
I agree.
And when we get the world to start chiming in on that, now you got people really taking care of themselves between relationships, doing it on purpose. And I love sound instruction and sound wisdom, and I think that's a great, does a week, does a month work after a year's relationship for you? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't.
In a perfect world, yeah, that'll work. But 9 times out of 10, we're not living in a perfect world.
Right.
So that's why we have rebound people.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we talking about package. We talking about in the real world. We're not talking about in a perfect world.
Yeah, you're right. We got rebound.
because-
We got rebound. Yeah.
we got a rebound.
We got rebound.
But what was that
But rebound
commercial?
is-
Was it? It was a commercial that was aired a long time ago.
What's that? What's in your wallet?
No. It was about dating. It was like, I'm dating, and then she was like, I gotta keep my options open because I gotta filter out if you really gonna be who I want to be with. And that was one of the most profound commercials that I've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You remember it?
No, I don't remember it, but I like the concept.
Yeah,
I like the concept.
But it was beautiful. A lot of people didn't like the commercial, but I was like, hey, that's a true statement.
That is
because
a true statement.
that's why that's why you have baggage. Is because you say, hey, I'm dating you, and you don't talk to anyone else. But the other person is like, we dating, and my definition of dating may be we're going to see other people, and we're going to keep our options open. But you like, I'm only dating you. Well, we didn't have a conversation.
Right.
We said we were dating.
Right. But really, see, I hear what you're saying, Phil. That's running game, no matter how you look at it.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not running game. It's having communication.
No, you playing
sound communication.
Until you get caught. You're playing on the vulnerability of other people.
No, you are not.
Yes, you are. You're running game, Phil. Listen, it's okay to run game if that's what you're going to do.
It's not running game.
But let's call a spade a spade.
How can you say I'm running game when I let you know, or we have a conversation that we're dating, and I'm letting you know you're not the only person that I'm seeing.
Yeah. If you tell them that, you're not running game. If you tell them that, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I said in a perfect world, yes, it will work.
Yeah.
But due to the fact that we don't move in a perfect world, or we don't operate in a perfect world, that's why when people get lonely after a relationship, they start getting somebody to fill in the void, and then we have a rebound person. Now we're putting more hurt and harm before we can even move on.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You're compelling baggage on top of baggage.
But and that's a very interesting point there because, we're not healed, but yet we go out and get smashed, and some of the smashes is, I like you a little bit.
I'll tell you,
what I'm saying? I'm gonna call you tomorrow. How you doing? And then next thing you know, you swept in a whole series of another emotions, and you're not even over what you've been through.
That's correct.
One of the reasons why we continue to take baggage into other relationships, because we really didn't have a healing process. What we had was let's put reality on the shelf and go get the smash session. Say again?
I don't take baggage into other relationships.
You know what? I don't either.
Because
some would beg to differ, but I think I truly try to see people for who they really are.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, one of my little philosophies is that when I
don't sign on me because I know where you're going. I already see it.
When I'm ending a relationship and meeting new people, I tell myself, wow, I have gotten all the gifts from the person that I just was with. I've gotten all these great gifts, and no other set of gifts is ever going to mirror that. And so let me just put this baggage of gifts away, and I really appreciated them, and they were very nice, but I'm not going to expect anybody from my future to provide me with these gifts, because now I'm setting them up for failure, for real. And, people's expectations oftentimes drive relationships, and even more so than reality. So, just putting away expectations about what they do or don't do really gives me an opportunity to, kind of stay detached, and that's kind of necessary. So I love where this conversation is going, man.
Yeah, I got to jump in there, though, man, because I can't inside with y'all. I mean, I got to go the other way. I mean, I was carrying baggage because I didn't even understand sometimes what I was carrying. I didn't take that time to heal. I got out of one, I jumped right back into another.
Okay.
My whole thing is, why am I wasting more time? I really felt like whatever I was in was almost a waste of time because it didn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So at that point, I'm kind of hurt because I didn't want it to fail. Didn't do all the things to make it succeed. So again, didn't do all the right things. Didn't right moves. So then you expect to make the next right decision. There was a lot of things I needed to set my ass down and recognize before I moved on, and I didn't. So I was quick to want to get with somebody else. And then again, it's more of a rebound. And then they could mention it. Well, if you just got out of one, I don't want to be a rebound. And people talk good, but it don't take long for me to get in your head. So when we get to talking to them, they almost forgot about what I just went through. Now they entering because then they got their expectations of what they can do to either fix me, which you cannot fix what's wrong. You can only hear me. But they feel like they can fix me, so now I become their build-a-bear. And you know, I ain't that bad of a bear. But as you building on something that ain't trying to get built on, that's another failure. So there's another relationship out of it.
Really? Build a bear?
You're doing, but I'm putting myself in bad situations. I'm adding more grief to relationships than I need because I didn't sit down.
Yeah.
And that's one of the problems because you didn't get that time to heal. You didn't get that time away for you can start making better moves.
And so if you had to do it all over again, Jay, what would you do differently?
I would definitely take more time to myself and quit trying to act like I wasn't hurting. I was trying to be more of a man, and I didn't want to show pain, and I didn't want that person to know that I was saddened over the loss of the relationship. I wanted to be that person to be like, yo, it is what it is, and keep it moving. Well, that's the pain that I'm hiding. Okay? Now, hiding that pain is not me dealing with that pain. True. That's me carrying it.
That's exactly.
So now I'm carrying it through my day-to-day, trying to dissipate that pain throughout my day, and then when I meet somebody, it's a cover-up.
Yeah. So
all this is for a jacked up Mona Lisa that I'm painting, don't even know what I'm painting, but I'm not making a masterpiece. I'm making destruction because I'm adding more people to the equation and not realizing I am the core substance. That's the problem. Yeah. I become that toxic force when I think I'm that great force.
Yeah. So
when you back up and take the time, you can add to instead of being a minus of.
Yeah. You know, fantastically put, Jay. Jay mentioned, you know, the overall idea of take time to heal. And what that really insinuates is that there is something to heal. Like, people take for granted emotional pain.
Yeah, you have to.
And we are all, you know, it's kind of such a dog-eat-dog world. You just oftentimes, you know, you might come out of some of them situations kind of numb. And you probably had left a relationship before you left a relationship. So you already had started your healing process. But you never really dealt with the pain, and it can manifest itself in so many different ways. You know, just from interpersonal irritability to migraines and headaches to depression and loneliness and stress.
High blood pressure.
And so I want to spend some time kind of talking about the pain when we come back from break here, but talking about the pain, and then of course we probably really need to dive into how do we heal ourselves if we're harboring these past relationships and letting the old ruin the new. How do we heal ourselves? What are some things that we really need to start embracing in order to make real healing happen in our hearts and our spirits? So you folks stay tuned. We're going to go ahead and take another break. I got another fantastic track. I hope you love it. We'll be right back for more Board Talk with Jay.
With Board Talk with Jay.
Welcome back.
I will tell you this segment right here. I don't know how his day went. I know it's a pandemic, so I'm hoping that 9 times out of 10 he worked from home and had a peaceful day. Yeah. If he did not, I do not know what's going to come out of his mouth, so it might slap you in a different kind of way. But my man Jeffrey is up next. Jeffrey, how you doing, big baby?
Brother Jay, how's it going today, brother?
Oh, it went good for me. I'm just hoping it went good for
Jeffrey, how you doing, man?
Oh, Brother Kraft, man, everything's going well over this way. You know, the sun finally came out. I got a chance to drop the top and ride around, cruising with some D'Angelo playing. But in spite of all of that, my daughter loves me, my son loves me, my granddaughter loves me, my mama loves me. But you know what time it is.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions, I give you some answers from a man's point of view. So I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man as to why you might be single. But before we get into that, here is my disclaimer. Now, see, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you. And if it does apply to you, I want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in them because you're going to learn something tonight. Now, ladies, you go first.
All right.
All right, ladies, some of y'all are single simply because y'all think y'all the smartest ones in the bunch. I need y'all to understand me, ladies. Yeah, y'all got y'all degrees, and that is noteworthy. We certainly appreciate that. And yeah, y'all doing it for yourselves. Y'all been doing it for some time now. And of course, that's venerable indeed. But y'all ain't as smart as y'all think y'all are with y'all advanced degrees, getting played by brothers with GEDs having asses. I want y'all to understand, ladies, that it's more than just marks or your credentials or those little letters behind your name. What are you actually doing to empower not only yourself, but your community? Are you putting words of life and affirmation into your children, or are you poisoning your children with your own shortcomings and your own issues? I need you to understand, ladies, you're not as smart as you think you are, because when I tell you all that education is great, but the world is full of educated fools. I need you to understand, ladies, that I love you to death now, but I want you to get beyond your little ego and understand that that we only go as far as our women and our men collectively, not you individually. So I'm not saying, ladies, don't go out and get your education. I'm saying don't be ignorant of the plight that's around you. Don't sit up in your ivory castle and try to look down on a brother because he might not have the same degree that you have. That brother probably got some spirit that you lacking, and you probably lacking a lot. That's why your ass is single.
Man, the pandemic is working on you, bro. Oh, we
Hardcore, is he not?
man.
Oh my God, y'all think y'all smart. Boy, the ego sure can tear down some opportunity for loving, you know? And there's just no place for it, you know? Gotta be humble, even in your wealth, in your education and your knowledge. You gotta always stay humble. You gotta always be pouring back to the guy behind you. Somebody on the ladder right behind you, and you gotta be giving back. But that usually doesn't happen if you're wearing your ego. And you know, that ego oftentimes, I believe, can hinder the family ultimately, which is what I think Jeffrey's talking about. Because women, you know, you meet a guy who's a hard-working man, he might not have a degree, he may not be going the direction that you're going, but he may still be a good man. And you're not gonna see the good man in him if you got your head on, you know, too high on your shoulders because of your own accomplishments. So, well put, Brother Jeffrey. Well put. We'll hand it back over to you, my friend.
All right, fellas, don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook. Fellas, you are next.
Okay.
All right, fellas, some of y'all are single simply because you are afraid to make a damn decision. I need you to understand me, fellas. You won't get the gall to ask a woman out on a date, but then you turn right around and ask her what you want to do. What the hell is that? I mean, you understand that you want to take a woman out, but taking her out is more than just taking her to a movie. See, what I need you to understand that you have to understand what it means to make a decision. You have to see what's happening and figure out what's the best course of action. Yes. But what happens is you will see what happens, and this is what you decide to do. Not a damn thing. You got to show some leadership.
Yes.
You got to show some strength. Matter of fact, you got to show some balls. Right. And I need you to make it known that you are a man in every sense of the word.
Yes.
So stop wasting our time if you're not a man in every sense of the word, because all you're doing is wasting her time.
Yes.
And the more and more you waste her time, well, the more likely that your ass is going to end up single.
Ooh, afraid to make a decision, afraid to show some leadership, not being the man, leave her alone. I mean,
Quit it.
I'm not really feeling convicted by this, but I know that message needs to get sent out. That message definitely needs to get delivered into the world, because, you know, I got friends and family, and they're telling me how little leadership they see in men nowadays. It's a big problem. So, outstanding, Brother Jeffrey. We'll hand it back over to you, sir.
Okay, we got a lot of things going on right now in our community. A lot of things that's happening that are unfortunate right now. We got two brothers and one sister who had their life cut short at the hands of law enforcement or wannabe law enforcement. And what I want to say to the brothers and the sisters out there is, I don't say what I say to criticize you, just to beat you down. I say it because I love you in a way of hoping to edify and uplift you. But I need you to pause right now, men. I need you to pause right now, women, and stop attacking each other. I heard somebody say, why they burning down the damn Target? First of all, why are you worried about the damn Target? Don't worry about the Target store. You worry about the Target that seems to be on my back, on my sister's back. You worry about that damn Target. They got insurance. Bump that Target. Stop worrying so much about what they think and how we can make it better. What we need to do. No. You can take the same headline from 2020 and put them in 2010, in 2000, in 1990, 1980, 1970, all the way back to the founding of this country, and it would still sound like it was written in contemporary time.
Yes.
This is not something that's just on us to fix. Don't talk about Chicago. Don't talk about any other black or majority black city. Talk about the reality of what's happening, because everything else is deflection. Don't talk about your sister. Don't talk about your brother. Talk on the root of what's keeping us apart. And that's a deliberate effort to have us fighting against each other while they're steadily killing us. And that's all I got.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Jeffrey for president. I'm writing him in.
Yeah.
I'm writing you in, bro.
What a moving, speech on the subject and the issue, because lives are being destroyed, minds are really focused on the wrong things. There's a lot going on here in this equation. Unjust is continuing to rear its head. With our law enforcement. So thank you so much, Jeffrey, for speaking on that. And we are truly grateful for all that you put into this show. I'm just going to share with you quickly tonight's topic, and we'd just love to hear your insight on it, shall we?
All right.
Tonight we are talking about harboring past relationships. Don't let the old ruin the new.
This is real easy. I was listening to some motivation earlier, and it said that there's this woman named Karen, is what we'll call her. And Karen has not gotten over her boyfriend. We're going to call her boyfriend Jeremiah. And something about Jeremiah drove her absolutely crazy. See, Jeremiah decided that it was time to part that relationship. But when Jeremiah went forward, he forgave Karen and got over Karen, and now Jeremiah is doing his own thing. But Karen is still upset over that relationship, and she's drowning over a 20-year-old cup of tears instead of letting it go.
Yes.
Now, first of all, Jeremiah is a powerful brother. He put that thing down now. So I can understand why Karen was really upset, because she lost a good brother. But the bottom line of it is, you got to move on and let it go. Because right now, that cup full of tears, she's holding on that harder than she's holding on to the possibility of new love.
Yes.
She's falling in love with her pain. So as long as you're in love with your pain, don't expect any type of growth. Don't expect any type of anything other than that cup full of tears.
Yes. Yes. Outstanding, man. Outstanding. And that's exactly where we are about to go, is understanding the pain. What does the pain look like? So thank you so much, Brother Jeffrey. Any parting words for us, my friend, as we move out?
Yeah, last thing I got, brothers, with all the things that we are experiencing, all of the trauma that's being thrust upon us, we still got to take a moment to decompress, to get that off our shoulders, to get it off our backs, to get it out of our hearts, so that we can be functioning soldiers. There's a point where everybody has to take off their armor and rest. You can't fight every minute. You got to keep your mind fresh, because it's not just a physical fight. It's an emotional and spiritual fight.
Yes.
And that spirit will fuel everything. You just have to allow it to refuel. But don't take on so much where you can't put it down unless your spirit rest your soul and rest your body, because we need you well rested, brothers and sisters.
Yes.
We got a lot of work to do. We need everybody on deck.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Brother Jeffrey. You are you really a great role model, man, and we appreciate all that you do for this show. And I guess we'll look forward to hearing from y'all next week, my friend.
That's right. Everybody vote for Jeffrey, y'all. Write him in on the ballot.
Yep.
Write him in. Jeffrey.
All right, fellas. Y'all take it easy, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, man. Thank you. Thank you. All right, folks. It is time for us to go ahead and take another break. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Viral.
All the time, bro.
And if y'all didn't catch it, please go back and listen and vote for Jeffrey for president.
Yes.
Write him in on the ballot.
Yes.
Might not see him, but we need to do some write-ins. We need some strong, good people to help lead us into this new world order.
Yes, we do, Jay. And, you know, we got to be a part of that team. And I'm encouraging everybody to be a part of that team. You know, social media has allowed every person sitting in their living room to have a voice.
Yep.
And you should be putting your messages in the airwaves, just like we are. You know, we're not trying to hog up anything. We want you to get your message out in the world too. We're trying to bring positivity and bring love and bring some healing, some mental healing, some spiritual healing, some greater awareness of life. And you know, you may have a completely different idea in mind, but yeah, bring it to the marketplace, man. We need to hear from you. We need to hear from you. If you're listening to this and you've been thinking about doing a podcast or something, you know, get online and start preaching some word. You know, we are nothing without each other, and that means whether some of you need to come here and just hear what we got to say, but some of you got something to say, and you need to be putting that on wax so we can listen to it out here in the world. Every perspective matters. So let's go back to our topic for tonight.
Okay.
And I think Jeffrey brought us into our next segment quite nicely. Tonight's show, we're talking about harboring past relationships. Don't let the old ruin your new. And we had talked a little bit in previous segments about just becoming aware that you have pain, becoming aware that you have been hurt. You know, Jeffrey mentioned it, and his crossover into this segment is people fall in love with their pain. And what is it that they're falling in love with? What you know, how does pain manifest itself in people, in us? Because some people may be going through pain and not necessarily realize it. Any insight, fellas?
I mean, you got to remember now, like, a lot of times in a relationship, you don't always want to admit it, but a person can fulfill you in different ways. And when that person gets away from you, it causes you to have a lack of that fulfillment. And when you're not really recognizing it, it becomes something that takes away from you. You kind of crave it because you used to receive it. That person always called you, always checked on you, did some small caring things. I ain't gonna just go with the big romantic things. I'm keeping it subtle. But then you get in a bad argument, you go your own way.
Right.
But now you're not getting these things. And now all of a sudden, you know, even though you don't want that person back, you're not even recognizing the things that he impacts your life with.
Right.
So now when you starting to see that no one's really checking on you, it brings you down quickly because that person did.
Yeah.
So now I'm hurrying over a bunch of pain because I'm missing some of the things he did. I'm not accepting that he's just gone. I'm missing. Then I start listening to love songs. Just giving you some things that's gonna cause a problem. Okay?
Yeah.
You ain't got past, and now you listening to love songs. It puts you back into that whole chemistry of pain.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Some people can handle it better than others. I'm just giving you some small symptoms of what people hold, and that causes a lot of pain. Because now, since I ain't over them, I'm listening to love songs. I'm missing them, but I can't call them.
Yeah.
You know, you hurting yourself softly into the music. You thinking this person has passed you, has moved on, and you hoping he feeling the same pain. That's your pain.
Yeah.
It ain't necessarily theirs. but you hoping they're feeling somewhat of the same. And you kind of call and you hang up. This with the hope of them just seeing that you call for a second just to see if they'll call you back because you don't want to be the first one to give in. I'm just giving up some small things I was young.
Oh, you talking about
younger days.
You talking about old school when you
talking to all people, they still do
when
it.
You call and hope you get the voicemail now and pick up.
But in the case they do, I hang up beforehand. I'm hitting on all angles. So you got these hurtful things that people go through. These are the games. I'm just putting game out there. And these are the pains that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And these are the things that people go through, and that's sad.
I caught several of them from yours and just kind of added to them. But yeah, if you are experiencing, you'll first begin to experience loneliness. I mean, there's a great portion of your life that's absent now. And they were there to talk to you every day, fill in the gaps. You know, you're texting all day. You think you're going to have dinner this evening. Even if the relationship wasn't going well, you still had a routine. Yeah. And now all of a sudden that routine is very different. You think about, I recall going through my separation/divorce, and like the first couple of nights out of the house was like grueling because everything was different. I was sleeping in a new bed. I had a new toothbrush, a new route to work. You know, I had to make new friends. I'm living in a whole new community. I mean, everything changed. I couldn't even talk to the same friends that I had. Because they were married and they didn't want to take sides, and so a lot of them distanced themselves away from me and probably her as well. But now I'm really in a world where I gotta depend only on me. It's a lonely world, and it ultimately causes a lot of depression. I went through depression, and I was probably in depression between 6 and 8 months. Yeah. Right when I look over my shoulder, but I never knew that I was depressed while I was in it. I didn't figure out that I was depressed until a year later, when I'm talking to this lady and she was telling me all the what happens, the signs and when people are depressed, and I was like, damn, I went through that. I'm like, that was me. The
grief, the anger, the
resentment. So people will experience depression, and you just need to check yourself. That's what this is all about. Take your depression temperature, so to speak, and determine, hey, am I going through depression? Am I experiencing depression? I'm pushing the world away. I don't want to see nobody, talk to nobody. I'm not going out anymore. I'm not eating well. I don't have any other interaction going on in my life. I'm not, it's not like I'm still going hang out at the parties or still going to the gym, and I'm just pretty much detached from the world. What you have lost in some form or another is you have lost some sense of a positive stimulant. That person, whatever they did for you in your life, to you, so to speak, they were your positive stimulant if you were in that relationship. And they might have caused a lot of harm as well, which is why you may no longer be there, but you don't have any positive reinforcement. Sometimes just sitting down to dinner together is positive reinforcement. You might not even talk to one another. But just sitting there in front of the TV together can sometimes be a part of that positive reinforcement. I'm not alone. Someone is here with me. If you find yourself crying a lot or being emotionally sensitive, crying, emotionally sensitive, I remember anytime I've gone through some very heavy heartaches, it seems like for the weeks and months afterwards, I'm easily cry. It's easy to upset me. And so I know, when I went through the loss of my father, it took me, almost a year just to stop crying every other day, And so I was going through something, but I didn't know how to fix it, you know what I mean? Here's another one, and this is big, fellas. Y'all identify with this. If you find yourself constantly thinking about your previous partner, you're like, if you're just driving down the road and you just be thinking about them all the time, you could be going through some pain, right? Because you really shouldn't be going through playing tapes in your head all day long of this past person, right? You need to begin to see the right now, and you need to begin to see the future. But if all you can think about all day long is the person who you was with, you're probably experiencing some real internal pain.
Yeah, but, along with that, like you said, how can you identify, falling in love with pain, or that's who you're with at this point? I feel that when Jay was talking about his divorce, I feel that what he was saying is that he was putting out that you know, he had fell in love with his pain, and he didn't get away from that pain until he looked at himself and take accountability for himself. Because as long as you're pointing the finger and looking at the other person, you're never taking inventory of yourself. And as long as you never take inventory of yourself, you're still harboring and holding pain and baggage.
I like how you said it, because when you say inventory, that's why you don't recognize it. Because
you don't recognize because you don't take inventory.
it's not right. It's internal.
Yeah.
So I'm blaming. I'm not looking. I'm deflecting.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what that is. I hate to say it like that because
That's
I've been through it,
Mhm.
and it's not about me pointing it to anybody else. But again, when you're not looking at how I can look at myself as a better person,
Mm-hmm.
but I can blame you for all I went through, then it reflects away from me.
Yeah.
I don't have to take the time to realize any things I might have done wrong. I'm just holding you more accountable for the one thing that you did that standing out that I want to always bring to the forefront to escape anything that I might have said, to add any kind of extra that elevate it.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there because it's easier for me just to keep blaming you.
Yeah.
And then I walk away feeling fulfilled, blaming and tearing you down.
Yeah.
Your character.
Yeah.
And remember, I loved you at that time.
Yeah.
Right.
All right?
Mhm.
But now I'm showing no characteristics of love.
Yeah.
I'm showing hurt. But where hurt come from? It comes from the heart. It comes from that love. That's where most hurt come from a person that hurt you because you love them.
You care for them.
And
Yeah.
you gotta watch that because that's where a lot of the anger start coming from. But
Yes.
you gotta digress from.
Yes.
You digress and you take inventory. You know something? It ain't right for me to talk about a person that I sat there months before and told you I loved.
Yeah.
That I do anything for, but now I can't stand her and she ain't nothing.
Right. That's running. That's hiding.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's running right there.
That shows you right there a person
That you're not
that's
here.
not stable.
Yeah.
You ain't balanced past
You know
nothing.
what, Jay? You know what, Jay? That is profound because I discovered that I discovered unconditional love, and it took me probably about 2.5, 3 years after breaking up with my ex-wife. Right? It was just one day. I think we have been talking about some stuff in my ministry class, but it was one day I said to myself, like, I completely forgive her. And that, you know, people do make mistakes and, you know, things do happen. And we've probably gone too far now for us to try to make it up. But you know what? She's still the mother of my children. She's still a great person. She was, you know, the woman I fell in love with. And all of a sudden, I just felt a great sense of healing
Yeah.
right then. It really was. And it wasn't until shortly after, you know, actually for another year or so, I didn't even let her know. That even though our vows were no longer in place, so to speak, that I vowed that I would make sure she would take care of for the rest of my life. That was part of my unconditional love, that she'll never want for anything as long as I have it. And so just because we divorced don't mean I can't in some ways fulfill the promise that I made to the Lord. And that was a very healing moment, you know, but it required me to take inventory, you know, and you know, and I was hurting. I was hurting more than she was hurting, and I was hurting because I was angry.
Yeah.
I was hurting because I was pointing the finger. I was hurting because, you know, I had no empathy for her, you know, and I'm sure that there may have been some things that I did to lead up to that. And so now I got to begin to take ownership of it and saying, hey, you know, I might have put her through some shit too. But I was a big boy about it. You know, it took me a few years because, you know, I got in the streets and I started drinking and getting high all the time and getting really high all the time. And, you know, that was a part of, and that's another thing, you know what I'm saying? If you find yourself comatose in a corner, you know what I'm saying, 3 or 4 nights a week, and you don't want to come out, you probably are dealing with some pain.
Yeah.
You know, and it's important that you, again, you know, what I like about this discussion most is that we're asking you folks, in the bottom line, what we've discovered is we're asking you folks to just take assessment. Take assessment of your emotional house. You know, how am I feeling? You know, one of the things we do on Minecraft is we're projecting questions to people so that they can start to self-realize their own good stuff. And I ask questions like, how are you feeling today about money? You know? Do you believe that you're behind? Do you believe you're ahead? Do you believe you're going somewhere? Do you have a plan? You know, how do you feel about money? Do you like money? Do you not like money? Do you think big? Do you think little? I'm getting people to just start spinning their wheels. I need you to start moving this great muscle. It's not just the brain, it's a spiritual muscle, you know? And you really, really have to go through some thinking processes in order to get to healing. And one of the best ways is just to, you know, assess your emotional house. Where am I? You know, I have some days that I sit at my desk at my office, and I just notice that my stomach muscles are tight. You know, my shoulders are a little shrugged up, right? And what it really is, it's just a lot of tension I'm carrying. And I don't know why I'm carrying the tension.
Sound like you got gas. I'm just saying. Y'all ain't catch that. I'm only one. Maybe that's just me.
Stress, boy.
Oh, I thought that was Tom's. I was about to tell you, my solution is Tom's.
Really? Sound like you got gas.
I mean, they ain't come across your head.
Stomach muscles tense, nigga. Hey, I wasn't nauseated, nigga.
I wasn't nauseated either, but it was just...
He said he had bubble good.
I mean... I guess I'm the only one thought that way.
Oh, wow, man.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
You on the island on your own.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I float that way all the time. Oh, my
Yeah. Listen, this conversation is so beautiful, and I think it's such a pure conversation about all of us being able to recognize what the pain is, and you know, you can't heal anything until you know that it's there.
Yes.
You know, I couldn't relax and, you know, just release the stress in that moment until I just became aware of it. And we've got to become more aware of it, because it really is our emotions that are driving our every decision. It's how you feel that drives your thought process sometimes. I teach a technique where you have to remove feelings from the equation and just focus on task. And no matter how you feel, get up and get the thing done, period. But if you're not, you know, laser focused or moving in an aggressive direction, how you feel is going to determine how you manage your life. And if you're not feeling good, you're going to refrain from living. If you're not feeling good, you're going to shun people away. If you're not feeling good when Mr. or Mrs. Right shows up, you're just not ready to entertain that person into your life. And they, you know, they will see it. In fact, you know, one of the key equations we were talking about earlier is that we need to be able to recognize when people aren't ready. Don't get into a relationship. You know somebody just got out of a 2-3 year relationship, and especially you discover that it ended bad. You need to make sure that you protect yourself from those people who may be hurting. Because if they don't know they're hurting, now they're gonna bring you down, right? You remember Richard Pryor talking about mouth-to-mouth resuscitation? He said, I give him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and he died, and that eased down my lungs.
Wow.
So you got to make sure that you know, you look for your team. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to take another break. I think we're just a minute or two early. But when we come back, we got to start talking about the healing process, right? We're talking about harboring past relationships. Don't let the old ruin the new. And I love the direction this discussion has gone tonight, because it just adds value to the people that are listening, you know. I just love it. I just love it. So you folks stay tuned. We're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. I got an old track here, one of my favorites. I think you're gonna love it, and we'll see you right after this.
Talk with Jay.
Yes.
Man, we back with this one, and again, we're about to go back in. We're gonna have a little bit of fun. And I heard my man Kraft said we're gonna go back with the mental part of how we get past it. I want to play with it a little bit about recognizing it still, because sometimes in the dating part of the healing is also recognizing is when you're talking to a person, and I notice when you kind of get into a good calm center, my conversation is more about me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've noticed in some conversations, people use conversation of the other to know more about that person. What did he do for you? And
how was your last relationship, they automatically go back to see what they can do to go forward. And I really feel like it's not about your past, it's about what I can do for our future.
Yeah.
Some people feel like it's just a standing point where it's a great conversation. My whole thing is watch your conversation and watch where you're going, because you're bringing them back to something. And why am I taking them to a place I don't care to know all about? I might know some things through time, but at this time, I like you to know me.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that in conversation, talking to people, you didn't even mention, how my last relationship went. And my whole thing is that should come in time. Right now, you got to learn me to see if we gonna work.
Right.
And if I'm learning about him, I'm not trying to be with y'all.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's where your head at.
Right.
That's where y'all need to be.
But see,
and I can exclude myself. But
when I was saying, I ain't care about nobody's past relationship.
Well, you think about it. A lot of times you be like, what did he do to make you leave him? I'm just talking about general conversation. People have said these things.
Yeah, listen, I do want to hear the elevator speech. I want to hear, kind of what happened. I'm interested in knowing a little bit about what happened. I don't need to know all the stories. I don't need to know how he treated you and this and that. But I'm very interested, because see, I'm of the notion that if you like me, if you lightly tell me that somebody was cheating on you, and then 6 months into the relationship, I see why.
Thanks for the heads up.
I so appreciate the insight.
Okay, so question.
Go ahead.
You say
He messed you up. Get out.
Hey, they tell me. So listen,
we broke up because he cheated on me. And then 6 months in, you be like, I see why. Do you tell him? Do you tell him, or you just keep it?
No, hell, you don't tell him. No,
you don't tell him?
You keep it to yourself. You be like,
why you don't tell him?
No, you never gonna tell him.
You got the elevator speech, so why you don't tell him? Well, I see why.
Because the elevator ain't going up.
Well, see, listen. Rather than use my words to tell her what I discovered, I'm gonna figure out some words to tell her why the hell I'm leaving.
The same way.
But the thing, you're not gonna help her?
No. Well, I would help her by leaving her.
And help with an exit plan.
But no,
for sure.
If we go back to the show, you ain't doing nothing but adding more baggage.
Listen, I'm adding value by getting my ass the hell out of it. And that's real talk. Here's the thing. I'm going to save her from all the misery of being with an unhappy boyfriend.
What happened to each one? Teach one.
It got caught on his way out.
Listen, my answer for that is I'm going to pray for her.
Yeah.
I promise you, the Lord can open minds that I could never do.
Boy, you get the hell out.
And He will, yeah. And He will.
You let the Lord work while you get the hell out.
Hey, listen. So I had this girl, right?
Yeah.
I met her. We met. We chopped it up. We started talking on the phone. I love phone conversations. Even we have phone conversations for 2-3 weeks before we even go out. Sometimes.
Right.
I love that slow pace.
My stomach hurt. My shoulders tense.
And so the girl made note that she was kind of a germaphobe, right?
Uh-huh.
And so, I didn't really pay no attention, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no real big issue to me. I'm like, okay, you like clean people, clean things, clean hands. Well, a couple of months into dating her, she was always trying to coach me on, little shit. You know what I mean? I could see that germaphobe attitude coming through her. And more than just the germaphobe, what she really was like Mrs. Mommy.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And she want to mommy you. That's what she want to do, right? And so I put 2 and 2 together and made the great escape. It wasn't no feelings lost. It wasn't no heart hurt, right?
It wasn't going to work.
Yeah, I just see that, hey, this person has gotten drilled in them for the last 30, 40 years that she needs to be somebody's mommy. And I'm not going to be trying to create $1 million enterprises with a mommy in my lap, So I just vacated the premises. There wasn't no need to tell her. Wasn't no need to talk about it. And we've all been through it, right?
Yes.
Right? Like you start seeing somebody, dating somebody, and you see signs. Huh?
You ain't hear that?
Well, yeah, I told you I prayed for it, man.
On his way out.
Yeah, on my way out.
He did it right in the car as he was driving off.
The best thing with listen, if you're in a relationship and you know for sure that it ain't for you, the best thing you can do is to just leave, right? And explanations and reasons and rationale, all that stuff don't do nothing but keep you bound, right? You don't owe nothing to nobody. You just got to make moves so that you can protect yourself and maybe even your partner, your significant other, right? And those are, that's easy to do. It takes a wise man to understand that, less words is more, But people want to talk about why and all that other shit, you know what I mean? You ain't gonna respect my why. You don't want to hear why the hell I, did what I did. You just, you want something to argue about, right? So,
Mommy gotta tell you what to do.
I be damned. Hey, listen, I was only.
Mommy gotta tell you what time to
I was
be
the
on.
only child, and my mama was straight liberal. Listen, at 9 years old, I came home and for football practice said, "Mom, I need my stuff washed for practice tomorrow." She said, "Okay, come on, son."
You should have to work this time.
She said, "Whites go here, dogs go here, and this is how you put cold water, hot water." Does that make sense? If you ever forget, son, look on the back of the inside of the washing machine. It'll tell you right there. Or read the box. You can always come ask me. And so from 9 years old, I washed and took care of my own clothes, right? No mommies for me.
She got you all out of that.
Oh, hell no. Reminded me of my grandma and my auntie and shit.
Exit.
Yeah.
Stage left.
Time to
Came
go.
out.
Time to go, right? So, I wasn't gonna let her, her past interfere with my future. And I think that's an important decision to make. When you see stuff, and see, this is important. When you're entering into a relationship, that it's real important for you to look at what is presented to you. Look at what you see. You may see that this person still is in pain. You may see that they're still attached to their previous person. You may see that they're not open for new ideas. You could see any number of things. But you can't just get dick whipped. You know what I mean? You got to have some mindset about you that keeps you from getting yourself into trouble, right? And so
PW too, man.
Yeah, pardon my French. Yeah, PW too. Yeah. So capture a clear head, get a clear mind, really assess the situation that you're in. Let's talk about the healing process, man. How do we go toward healing in these situations? So we're hurt, we're deeply hurt. We know that we are hurt. We know that we've been shallow from the world, that we've been not going out. We know that we've been listening to old songs crying and y'all been broke up 6 months. We know that we've been experiencing some depression. We know we've had a lack of positive stimulus in our life. We know that we cry on the heartbeat. We know these things. How do we come out of it, man?
I'll tell you one of the things I look at is back to inventory. When you listen to the music and all that, you're not looking at your inventory. You're really harboring feelings. I like to say at one point you have to push away from your feelings and understand the things that I have to be accountable for. In any relationship, there's accountability. And when you start looking at your accountability of what all you contribute and what you might have done, that's more of a thing that you can control compared to what happened. You can't control another person. That person did whatever. From they did it or you did it. When you start evaluating your errors, your involvement, not always saying error. I don't like to say that because everybody don't make mistakes.
Right.
They can be doing things and somebody can do something totally against you.
They're own way.
Nothing against. But if I'm looking at the things I did do and I can say correctly, I didn't make a mistake or I might have led a person, whatever it might have been, these are the things that you can correct in your future of going away from that situation. And it helps a lot compared to just getting into the feelings. When I'm just listening to music and I'm all into the music, I'm into my feelings. I'm forgetting about the hurt and the pain of what just went on. And I understand that. But when you get past that, then you forget about all the other things that goes on. You just remembering the good things. Well, remember, it's a lot of things. And you want to evaluate everything. People run back to something that ain't even good for them.
Yeah.
I say,
just because of the pain
Yeah.
of being alone.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you're now willing to sacrifice happiness of being apart and getting back to yourself because of the scare of being alone.
Yeah.
That is more powerful and dangerous
Yeah.
in abusive relationships and relationships that's toxic and not going anywhere. And that's why people are scared to talk about it. But they know they're toxic. And that's what's scary to me because I want you to be healthy,
I would say
not scared.
that remove yourself mentally.
Okay. How do you do that? That's good.
Instead of listening to, old love songs, start listening to inspirational guides, to get you away from something toxic.
Yeah.
And then all of that negative energy that you have poured into something positive. So therefore, instead of you playing back or reminiscing on what you had, look toward the future.
Yes.
On what you can build.
Yes. Yes. And for people who are in love and they kind of de-whip to be-whip, you know what I'm saying? That
That's how it works out.
Yeah, that
4
inventory.
push-ups a day.
Yeah. You gotta find a way. You gotta find a way to look forward, right? Here's how I'd like to kind of summarize this. In the end, all of the healing has to take place in your mind. Okay, and
First.
the healing has to take place in your mind, and sometimes it takes a long time for people to change their mind. But in the end, you have to be resolved about your past. If you are not looking over your shoulder at the relationship with that person, saying, and have come to the place where you now can say, oh man, I'm so glad I met them. They were great people. I'm glad they added a lot of value to my life. I hope they're doing well. I hope they're good. If you haven't resolved in your mind to that degree, you are not healed. Okay? If you look over your shoulder and you're still pointing a finger, you are not healed. And here's one way to do it. This is an extreme way, but one of the things that I ultimately got to is I said, everything that happened that ruined our relationship is my fault. I got to a place where I said there, and that's when I started that unconditional love. I was like, no matter, she was my wife, no matter what she was going through, I should have been able to fill that gap, and I didn't fill that gap, and that's why what happened, and so I just got to try harder next time, Stacy. I got to be, I got to fill that gap a little more, Or, some people might go the other direction that, hey, maybe I should have gave up faster.
Yeah.
Maybe I spent too much time. I wasted too much time. I gotta, so whatever that assessment is, but you got to get to the place where you're comfortable, where you're completely resolved, and that's in your mind. Again, I'm thinking that every memory should become a pleasant memory.
Exactly.
Right? And so, unless, obviously those people who go through extreme situations, been abused and
I would
verbally abused and all that stuff, there's another level you have to go to get that out of your system, because, you go to the next relationship and your spouse might just walk in the room and turn on the light and you jump. And so you still playing some. She playing some of those old tapes. Yeah, playing some of those old tapes. The man who sleeps with one eye open when he realizes his wife mad with him. His new wife is mad with him, right? Because the last wife terrorized him.
Well, you shouldn't have got married.
Was ready to put hot grease on him. You know what I'm saying?
You shouldn't have got married.
You might want to change what you're doing. Hot grease, Lord have mercy. What are you doing?
I think another important idea.
Grits, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think another important idea for healing is that you can no longer spend time alone. Get out of the house. You'll find yourself amongst other people, because you'll be able to have conversations, you'll be able to get in interactions, you'll be able to live a little life. Just imagine you had a heart broke and you went to a concert with your girlfriend. Man, that's liberating. You're looking around and you get to see the music and you get to live a little and smile and dance, and you come home with a new story. You come home with another great memory. You come home with a positive experience. Those things heal you. They stop you from thinking about all of that crap that happened and have you more grateful for where you are now. But you know what? I ain't been to a concert in years. You know what? If I hadn't got rid of Old Unlucky,
Old Unlucky?
Oh,
wasn't nothing good from Unlucky.
I would not be experiencing this life.
Old Unlucky.
Old Unlucky. You know?
Hold on, but are you resolved from Old Unlucky?
Oh yeah, I'm resolved. Call a spade a spade. Listen, the reality is the person.
Hold on, I thought you had to put a positive spin on it.
No. The old person who I left, they might have been full of shit. the person who I left, they might have been, you know what I'm saying, two sheets to the wind, bad people. So you know, I'd be like, hey, you know what I'm saying, I'm old lucky, you know, unlucky, old unlucky.
I'm lucky to be gold.
I'm so glad I got rid of old unlucky.
Old Unlucky, I like that. I'm gonna use that.
Yeah. So get out of the house. That's another big point. It's just about time for us to take another break.
Before we go, one of the things I want to make sure everybody understands. One of the things we're trying to do is, again, what we do in this show is this new segment is Minecraft. This is one of the parts where we're gonna be able to put some things out here for you can be able to go to you, where you can have some things that can help develop you. There's steps to get past a lot of things. In conversation right here might grab you. We're gonna put some things out there that can help give you the steps to get you past this. And that's why I love what we do. We start a conversation, but we have meaning behind things that we do. Minecraft is going to give you the mental stimulation to get you past the hurt and pains of all these things that we're talking about.
Yes.
We don't want to just talk about it. We want to encourage you to be the strongest you.
Yes.
And that starts with mental.
Mental.
So please enjoy our show and grab onto the new things that we got coming. Because my man Craft is going to blow your mind.
Yeah, it's coming.
And get you with some things that can help you take you to that next level.
Yeah,
and that's what I encourage.
We've been talking about it for a while, but it's ready to come to market, folks. So y'all stay tuned. I can't wait. I can't wait to get your feedback. I got one more track for you for tonight. We'll be right back. Hurts and harboring past relationships, and you know, if you're harboring those relationships, you are leaving potential on the table.
That is correct.
And you know, it just can't be said any easier than that. But it does take a self-assessment. It does take getting out of your own box. You can't have the same routine. You know, there's a lot going on in this equation, a lot of things that the average person has to consider. And since there's not much healing on anything, I mean, you fail in a business, they don't have classes to help you overcome your emotional pain for the business that you lost, right?
If they did, I sure missed it.
Was it involved free your mind and the rest will follow?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
My
free your mind.
My pockets did.
So again, we've been talking all night tonight about harboring past relationships, and again, don't let the old ruin the new. And my boy C had just a scenario that we probably want to consider.
What do you got?
It's a real simple scenario, right?
Okay.
So you end up getting with this guy, this lady. She gets with a guy, and they're in this relationship together, and her previous relationship, the guy was just never wanted to come home. So she had to pitch and fit and all that stuff because he wouldn't come home. So the dude come home late one day, and she go off. She just highly upset, right? What she really doing is playing an old tape. Because her ex-man didn't come home because he was out tricking. But this dude run a legitimate business, do something out of the house, do some volunteer, whatever reason he was out late, he was out. And so he now begins to experience some of her old habits, some of her harboring some of that old relationship. What should he do? How should he deal with that?
Now,
Leave and pray.
Before I even leave, one of the things I want to do
Leave
is
and pray. Huh?
yeah, I want to watch that before I start praying over it. I want to make sure I have a better understanding of it.
Okay.
If I know I'm working and she's not believing me, then all of a sudden I got to make sure we have a solid trust. Because again, just because I run a business don't mean I'm trustworthy. You can use a business or front just like anybody else. So my whole thing is she really believing what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Am I really including her in things, or I'm just feeling like she's just stuck in a place and I'm not contributing?
Okay. Okay. Watch this. Watch this. Now here's what's really happening in that scenario, right? She's playing an old tape.
Mm-hmm.
So what you did and what you're experiencing from her is not of you. It is of him.
Triggered an
It
emotion.
is. Yeah. You triggered a response that she went off,
An
and
old
so.
emotion.
The first thing to recognize is that, hey, she playing old tape.
Benefit
Right?
of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you feel, if you want to move on and be happy, you have to give the person the benefit of the doubt until they prove otherwise.
Right. But now what she's done is she showed you that she has some major blemishes based upon character.
Now we have to have a conversation.
And now it challenges the relationship. And what do you say to her? What do you say to her at that point?
Where is this coming from, first of all? Because we never had this situation before. Now, why is it an issue? And you know I have my own business.
Or whatever.
So,
whatever reason you came home late. You know, whatever reason you came home late. Yeah, she knows that. But yeah, the question is, where is this coming from?
Mhm.
And sometimes you can't ask the question because you're not going to get a real answer. Right? What you have to do is be able to discern the situation and see kind of what's going on.
So now what, I have to pacify you?
Well, that's a great question. That's a great question.
A lot of people do.
Your pacification, the amount that you pacify her is ultimately going to be based on how much you love her and how willing you are to fight for this relationship.
But that goes back to your mama.
No, you didn't.
Remember what you said?
Go ahead.
You know, you figured, and she started, telling you what to do and how to do this, and it's like, hold on, my mama taught me how to do whatever I needed to do at this age, and kept building on me. But now, you gonna teach
Now she-
or raise a man to be your perfect person? Like, come on, let's be real.
Now, see, what you just did was create separation with her when you said that, right? You just said us and them in that dialogue, right?
Yeah, but the
And-
thing is, it's the same thing that you got back to with the germaphobe.
Okay.
She trying to be your mama and try to tell you how to wash your hands.
And listen. If I was in love with her to that degree,
You would pacify.
then I would pacify her. But at the same time, and I would also start retraining her. Okay, and that might mean
So how do you how do you train a grown person? Like, how do you do that?
And listen, it's all about communication. Okay, watch this. Here's something simple that very rarely happens in these scenarios. Think about this. I'm getting ready. I get up in the morning.
Communication
Hold on.
has to be a two-way street.
Hold on now. I get up in the morning. And I'm getting ready to get my day done. And I say, honey, here's what I'm doing today. I'm going here. I'm doing that. There. I'm probably gonna take a lunch break about 1. You can call me. I'm gonna text you at any time. You already know that she came out of a very abusive relationship because he was cheating on her or whatever. So now I love her enough to begin to pacify her, and it becomes even more than pacify. It's really sacrifice because you love her, and we all have this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Pacifying her insecurity.
Yeah, watch this. Hypothetically, the next woman that you would have in your life in a long-term relationship, she's got to be okay with you leaving the house. Because you like to leave the house. That's what you do. You like to get out, whether you ball it or whatever. You like to get out of the house. And if she in one of those scenarios, you're going to have to deal with that. And you can deal with it lovingly. Hey, baby, I'm going on the court. You know what I'm saying? I've had, in recent years, I might take a picture of something where I am and just send it to him. Never call or text. I just sent that picture. So she could be like, oh yeah, he went to that restaurant that he said he was going to, because I knew she was afraid of, you know, whatever, you know. So it really comes down to how much you love the other person. You're not, again, I think this is important to say, you're not going to have a person come into your life who don't have some kind of fallout from the previous relationship. And the communication, the sacrifice, the passivity, sometimes keeping your mouth shut when you want to say something, but you gotta be able to manage it. You know, one of my favorite things in business is when you manage your manager, right? Okay. And we all have the ability to manage our managers, right? But it's how you communicate.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, you know, your manager may not like you to come in late on Tuesdays, right? But, you know, every Monday night you're going to go in there talking about, you know what I'm saying, how your husband, you know, your ex-husband left you with no choice and no help. And and so you go, you know, I'm going to be late tomorrow again, boss, right? You're managing that, right? Yeah. And you don't want to have to do that, not even with your boss. Yeah. You don't want to have to always be trying to tell them. But the last 3 employees he had wouldn't show up for work worth a damn. You know, and I just happen to have a situation. So he's, you know, when you ain't there by 9 o'clock, he tripping, even though you done told him, right? Yeah. So it works in so many other facets of life. But communication is going to be the key. And I love the whole idea of having to sacrifice and be passive a little bit in order to help people get over their own hurdles. Because when you go to be in a relationship with 40 or 50-year-old women, they got some ways and some means, and they done picked up some bad stuff, and you done picked up some bad stuff, and now all y'all trying to put y'all bad stuff together and create love. It can be quite challenging.
So how do you communicate with a manipulator?
You know what? That's an outstanding question. Oh man, that's an outstanding question.
So how do you communicate with a manipulator?
Let me spend some time on that.
Because
I don't have no percent answer.
Is not going to receive what you're saying. They're going to switch it to make it seem like it's your fault.
You got to manage the manager. Okay. And in doing that, you got to make sure that you're always speaking to the tune that you are aware they might be full of shit, right?
Might be.
No, listen. But you're not gonna look at somebody's face and full of shit.
Why you can't say it?
You can, but you know what I'm saying. You got to deal with what comes with that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can't just be calling people, you know, I don't even name because you know they running game. You know they running game, but you just. Okay, but you're going to manage it, right? So watch this.
Now check it.
I got a perfect example.
Now check it. So you say you manage the manager.
Yeah.
Right? But the manager is a manipulator.
Right.
Right? So you say A, but the manager says C.
Okay.
But the manager say, I want the truth. But when you give the truth to the manager, they like, hold on.
They get upset about it.
I need to write you up on this.
Yeah.
Insubordination.
Watch this. Here's a perfect example. I almost lost
Some people can't handle the truth even though they say they want it.
Yeah, if you're dating a young lady, and we've all experienced this, right? You're dating a young lady, and there are a lot of young ladies out there, they get off on you taking them out, right? And they know pretty much if they suggest a date, you're going to spend the money and you're going to take them out, right? But then you start to figure out there's some of them just playing game. There's some of them might just want you to just, you know, take them out just to be taking them out, you know, because they can get a meal out of you, right?
Yeah.
How do you handle that person? You have to manage the manager. So I say, and after the second time, I'm like, listen, damn, you know what I'm saying? I've been pouring out love for you. You buying the next meal? Okay, perfect. Why don't we go to Rockies? We're going to go to Rockies next time, right? And I know Rockies going to run us $100, about the same thing I've been spending, right? But now I'm managing the manager. So when next time she thinks about asking, right, to try to set me up to take her out to dinner, she's already aware I'm thinking that she's going to pay for it. You see what I mean?
So what happens when y'all don't go out?
Well, if we don't go out no more, there'd be somebody else going out with me. You know? But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to get gamed, right? I'm not going to get
technically you just did.
No, I didn't. What I did was I played along. I played the game. You know what I mean? And so, yeah.
If you going 2 days in, though?
So watch this.
You going 2 in?
What do you mean?
You going 2 in?
Nobody know what you're talking about, man.
2 dates. You going 2 dates in where you paying?
I might.
Yeah.
I might. If I like her enough, I might go 3 or 4, right? And then I put the heat on her because I realize she really run the game.
Right.
You know but you know, by that 3rd date, I might be getting fringe benefits.
Well, and I'm gonna keep on paying for that. There was some good benefits. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm paying for that bill.
I might just keep on going.
She don't have one fed something.
She don't have to come out of
On
pocket.
numerous occasions, I have kept on going.
I mean, technically, she is coming out of pocket.
Well, yeah. Right?
Well, for you, only like 2 minutes.
That's a
Hey, look, I'm at 301 right now.
yeah.
I'm building up. By 2021, I'll be at 4
You'll
minutes.
take a steak and shake.
I'll be at 4 minutes.
So I lost some train of thought, man. I was trying to take it out.
You ain't gonna get it though.
Oh, here's the thing. That's a great dialogue because when you meet someone or you're in a kind of a younger or newer relationship with somebody who's a manipulator, you know, for the first several times you take it for granted. You just, you know, okay, baby, all right, we do this, and then after a while you be like, oh, this putting me together. They're trying to put me together on X, Y, and Z to do whatever, and you know, and that's a horrible way to give somebody what they want. You know what I mean? That makes you feel so bad about giving them what they want. You start to feel like you're taken advantage of. You know, ultimately being manipulated. You cannot allow that. And those people who do it, you know, probably they're game players. You know, they're game players in every part of their life. And you got to think about it. There are some people who are become extremely successful knowing how to run that game. And they do it in business and do it in life. And if they meet you, they're gonna do it to you, and maybe not even know it. You know, they're gonna try to put you in that box. But if you conscious of, you go, hey, you know, you ain't gonna put me in the box. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not gonna do X, Y, and Z. Why don't we do it this way, and we can both compromise. So it really becomes an opportunity for you to wake up once again, right? It is just about time for us to close this show out. We just got a couple of minutes before we close. Any parting words? Let's share, you know, a 45-minute long close from each of you on harboring past relationships. Don't let the old ruin the new. What would you say, Jay?
I would like to say a lot of things. We have to look at ourselves and hold ourselves more accountable, and then remember, take time to heal.
Yeah.
One of the things I like to say I learned from this is set a time limit of self.
Yes.
As in, I can take some time to evaluate myself and to realize what might have went on before I just move on.
Right.
A lot of time, the rebound is not helping.
Right.
Okay? I want us to be healed. And that's why I want us to take a little time away. And you're scared to be by self, but being by self can lead you away from what you already knew was toxic and wasn't healthy. And a lot of times, if you let other things, I like to say, get into your feelings with music and all the rest, you stay in your feelings and you get away from reality. Reality is it wasn't healthy in the first place. Your feeling is I loved her and I tolerated a lot of things. Tolerate is not what you want in love, okay?
Yeah, true.
You shouldn't be tolerating, y'all should be celebrating.
Yes.
I tolerate all this bad behavior because I loved her. And then I feel like I need to keep on tolerating. And she ain't never celebrated you.
Yeah.
And that's what I want you to get back to see. And then you can realize what I might need to do to make my next good move instead of me just tolerating what I've been tolerating that ain't healthy.
There you go.
That's getting us back to a healthy state instead of staying in a tolerated state.
There
That's
you go.
all.
What would you say, Uncle Phil?
I'm gonna piggyback up. Man, why I gotta be Uncle Phil? I ain't that fat.
We're working on it.
It's a turn.
Hey, I'm doing 4 push-ups today. I'm not working on it.
Turn.
Okay.
So I would have to piggyback off Jay, and you know, I would say that you don't want to tolerate, because when you tolerate, you are pacifying the person. So we want to get to a point where we can accept the person. So, and also, in order to get rid of that baggage, you have to be open-minded. You just can't see things one way. You have to be open to a different point of view, because if you're not open to a different point of view, you're always trying to manipulate the situation in your favor.
Right. Outstanding discussion tonight, fellas. You know, probably the greatest point that I would take out of this is to assess our feelings. Take inventory of your emotions. And if you're hurting, if you're sad, if you're lonely, if you're in pain, it's okay. It's normal. Everybody has pain. Everybody goes through things that they can't figure out why they went through it and what they got out of it, and et cetera, and we kind of wallow and dance in the pain. But if you could become aware of the thing that makes you unhappy, if you could become aware of the things that stop you from moving forward, you just might do something about it. But we're not even, most of us aren't even getting to the first level. Okay? And ultimately in the end, I say you got to look over your shoulder and be resolved. If you're resolved that what happened then was what it was, and you letting it go, you're forgiving the person, whatever, now you don't take that hurt and that pain and that anguish into your new relationship. Do not let the old ruin the new. That means you got to change in your next relationship. You can't be the same person that you were in your previous relationship.
True indeed.
So we're going to close out with that. Thank you folks so much for being here with us tonight. This is Bar Talk with Jay. We are here every Thursday from 7 to 9, Facebook Live. And we're on every platform. Check us out at bartalkwithjay.com. And of course, my name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth J. And we got Big Phil in the house. And of course, we love you again. We thank you for being with you. God bless you, all your family, and all your efforts in life. And come back and see us next Thursday. And with that, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.